In this site, Enviro Technology was commissioned to provide a system that would measure most of the waste incineration gases for our client, United Utilities. The site actually is a water treatment plant for basically all of Manchester and Liverpool. And currently the client is on a 1-month shutdown during August, where the whole plant is refurbished. And the client wanted to take advantage of this and fit a new SEMS monitoring system. United Utilities currently have a SEMS system that was installed in 1998, but due to new legislation that comes into force in December, it will no longer be compliant. So United Utilities needed a system that would be fully compliant with the new directive. The client had a specific request in that they didn't want to actually measure up in the ductwork above us. For ease of use and safety, everything was to be at ground level. So we commissioned a system here which we call the Opsis fast loop system. The main difference being that instead of measuring up in the ducts above us, the system will be extracted from above along piping via very high power fans into the fast loop system and along what we call a 2-metre measuring path here. Then all the exhaust gases are sent back up and exhausted back into the duct further along to then eventually reach the chimney. We have an emitter and a receiver, and in the emitter is a xenon lamp that gives off ultraviolet, visible and infrared light. The light is transmitted down through the cell and is collected by this receiver. To enable us to focus the information or the light down to the fibre optic, we have to adjust these parabolic mirrors that are inside these two boxes. The equipment needed to do that is a fibre optic cable, which then leads up to a light meter which measures in the unit of lux. And together, moving the mirrors at both sides of the emitter and the receiver, we're able to focus down to a very small point the light that's being transmitted from the lamp. Obviously on commissioning we'll set the instrument up, and then every 3 months we'll then come back and re-optimise if needed. But apart from all the stack emissions and gases we're monitoring, we're also monitoring pressure, temperature, oxygen. The oxygen is measured using this type of instrument, which is a zirconia cell. The cell is inserted into the measurement bench, and all the signals that come from the zirconia cell are then sent up to the actual small analyzer itself. This sensor measures pressure, this sensor is oxygen, and we also have temperature. Enviro Technology was on a tight deadline on this particular installation due to the requirements of the client. The client always shuts down for a 2-week period in the last 2 weeks of August, and the system must be installed, commissioned and fully tested during that period. The client cannot start the plant unless the SEMS system that you see was fully tested and ready to go. Because of this, we decided to work with 2 other contractors, one electrical contractor and one mechanical, to help Enviro Technology with the huge amount of cabling and also the mechanical requirements of this job. Things like all the pipe work that you see coming down from the duct work. The client decided that he wanted to keep the 2 systems completely separate in terms of reliability and data backup. So here we have a system that covers our stack emission system 1, and then we have another system here which does stack 2. Both cabinets are identical to each other. We have an Opsis AR600 analyzer measuring NO, SO2 and NO2, and then we have an AR650 measuring CO, HCl and water. Both systems will be calibrated identically and measure the gases in it identically. Basically, the system comprises of an air-conditioned cabinet. In the top of the unit here we have air filtering and air cooling to keep the machines in a nice, cool environment of say 24, 25 degrees. Obviously the environment is quite harsh outside, so as the cooler we can keep it in here, the better for the instruments. The bottom of this cabinet we have built-in UPS power backup, so in the event of the plant power going down, we have all instruments will be kept running, including air conditioning, via the UPS. We have 2 screens here and keyboards where we can control and perform service functions on all of the analyzers. And also in the bottom of this cabinet we decided to house the specialised equipment for measuring VOCs, which was a requirement of the new waste incineration directive to come into force in December. So the 2 machines here will give an output that will be also logged into our OPSIS system and presented to the user back in the control rooms. Part of the installation also includes the facility for the customer and Enviro Technology to validate the system using calibration gases. So as part of this project, we will provide all calibration gases and the facility for the user and Enviro to calibrate. This would normally be done as part of a service contract with Enviro Technology coming and on regular, say 6-month intervals. But also we're putting facilities here, so if the users have any doubt about calibration, they can come down and within 10 or 15 minutes simply carry out a calibration procedure to verify the function of the analyzers.